This incredible, weedy mess of terrible soil has produced hundreds of pounds of pumpkins. It works. It works amazingly. I'm getting ready to till this area under and probably put it under some cover crops or maybe another round of field crops so I can be ready for fall. So I'm kind of going around and trying to figure out where the pumpkins are. And at the end of this video, I have a close where I give the numbers on pumpkins. But I filmed the end of the video first. So it's like I have a time machine. So when you see my previous self at the end of it, tell him that I picked another 80 pounds since he went forward in time to finish this video. I like the smell of rotten ham. Pit roasted rotten ham bone. You know what's even better? Throwing in a few rotten eggs. This is one of the 8 or so hills that we planted. This is the remnants of a Cucurbita Maxima variety. This was the Walmart special. So last fall, I got this beautiful gray-green pumpkin in their fall decorative pumpkin display. And I brought it home and thought, man, that's a gorgeous pumpkin. And it was like $6. So I said, hey, let's save the seeds. If it tastes good, we'll save the seeds and we'll plant it. So a few months later, after the season, sometime early in the year, we roasted the pumpkin. It was delicious, nice, starchy, dense flesh that wasn't too stringy, had very good flavor. So we came out here and we planted the seeds. And the seeds came out of this hill. This pit, remember, we dug 2 to 3 feet deep. I've got the video on it. I'll put a link to the video below on my method for planting pumpkins. And they ran out from here. And they got hit by vine borers. I can see damage in here where vine borers actually destroyed parts of the stem and everything, but that didn't matter because as they grew, we buried over sections of the vine and it just kept running and running and running and it made pumpkins. But the pumpkins did not look like that original pumpkin. So my guess is they all mixed together and we got crazy pumpkins. They probably had a bunch of different heirloom varieties growing in the field and now we have wild maximas that don't look like anything else. But the pumpkins that survived and thrived and looked good out here that we're going to harvest from. If they taste good, we will save the seeds again, and we'll just basically have our own crazy mixed up maxima. Dave's mixed up maxima. Whatever it is, we have no idea. But it'll be interesting to see the genetic variation the next time around. As I expected, the Seminole pumpkin varieties that we planted did excellently. They ran like crazy. I have to say, I expected it, but I was still a little fearful because the soil is so poor here. But despite the bad soil, the melon pit method worked really well to grow some beautiful pumpkins. The Seminole pumpkin is an heirloom variety, stretches way back, at least 500 years, probably further, and it is from Florida. And this variety of pumpkin is very vigorous. It goes through the heat, it goes through the rains, it's resistant to blights, it's resistant to vine borers, it roots readily along the vines, and it just keeps running and running and running. And it also has very good keeping capabilities. Like it will sit on your shelf for a year or more without spoiling if you harvest it at the right time when it's fully mature, and if you leave a bit of stem on there. That helps a lot. If it breaks off here, it tends to dry out faster and have problems. And if you get any damage in it when you're harvesting it, it may or may not keep that long. But with pumpkin like this, you want to let them sit for at least a month before you eat them. If you take this thing in right now and you cook it and you eat it, you're going to be disappointed. The starches taste better. The flavor matures over a couple of months. 1 month, you're stretching it. 2 months, that's about right. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, it's going to taste great. It's going to be fantastic. Machada varieties will not cross with the Maximas. So my Walmart pumpkins are not going to cross with these guys. All I planted out here in the Machadas was Seminole pumpkin varieties. So we got a big mix of Seminole pumpkin varieties. And they're all crossing with each other. That's fine, but I didn't put any butternuts or anything else in the Machada group of winter squashes. So these are all Seminole pumpkin genes from various lines that various people gave me, some that I bought and some that I was handed. And they did fantastically. There's a reason I made this one of my top Florida crops in Totally Crazy Easy Florida Gardening, because I planted varieties that I love, like Blue Hubbard squash, and they did terribly in Florida. They just didn't want to do it. They didn't like me. They didn't like the vine borers, and they got mold, and they wouldn't produce well. But the Seminole pumpkins, every year, they ran like crazy. They go all over the place. They're still trying to come back up in here. There are sections of the vine that are totally dead and dying back and ugly and everything. And then there are portions of the vine that are still green that are trying to run. I had them one year grow through the season, and about this time of year, I harvested a bunch of pumpkins off them, had a whole wheelbarrow full of pumpkins, and then I didn't till the vines under or rip them out, and it came to later in the year, like September, October, and the pieces of the vine that were still in the ground started running again. And they gave me another round of pumpkins. That is a vigorous pumpkin, and that is a keeper. So if you're in the deep south and you want to try a really good pumpkin, I highly recommend the Seminole pumpkin. Nice flavor, keeps really long, very good survival food, very vigorous, goes through the heat, goes through the blight, good stuff. Vines are running out of the designated pumpkin patch to the edges of the sorghum that I planted and through it. And there's still pumpkins ripening up in here. The ones in the middle all ripened up already, and then it just has run along and made more, and I'm getting watermelons. I cannot believe the ridiculous amount of watermelons. I think we're definitely up to a few hundred pounds of watermelons. And I just planted them in here, and they went crazy. This is just, it's gorgeous. I love it. And they've run from the pits, and it's funny, as you can see sometimes, as they get further away from the original pits, they get the leaves get smaller and they get weaker because the fertility is not as good out here as they stretch on through. This Seminole pumpkin right here is one of the small variant. This is the probably more like the original type. It's a wilder pumpkin, very crazy, vigorous, but they're not nearly as big, and sometimes they have a large cavity in the center that makes them not as excellent as you know, huge amount of food pumpkin, but it's good eating anyways, and they're usually pretty sweet. So this one here is about ready to cut off of the vine. This is the green that runs on some of them. Some of them tend to be just tan. The color isn't really what tells you, is it ready? Now it's pretty nice and hard. It looks like it's hit most of its color here, and the stem is hard, and the stem is starting to yellow out. You want to get it all the way to yellow or brown. This one is still a little bit green, so I'd say another week or so. I could cut it and bring it in right now if we were going to have a freeze, but if I give it another week or two, probably just about a week, this is going to turn even more yellow, and the last bit of the sugars are going to come out of the vine, and it'll be ready. And then when I cut it, I'll put it so I have a nice clean cut to the ground and really quickly slice through it with a sharp knife. Now, it's easier to do this with a pair of pruning shears unless you are a machete expert. And I should probably just bring the pruning shears out to do it. But if you have a little bit of stem on there, it's going to keep better. Possibly. That's how easy it is to grow pumpkins on melon pits. Super simple method. It also works really well for watermelons, like this amazing yellow variety. We planted a handful of seeds at the same time as the pumpkins. These watermelons are still going. There's a 20-pound one on the counter. You know what? I'm gonna eat this right now. It's not exactly like the red ones. It's very good, very sweet, but it doesn't have the exact flavor of a red melon. It's more of a it's hard to place. It's a mild, sweet, yellow flavor. I don't know if we'll grow it again, but it was really fun to try it. Just had to try it. I mean, it's yellow, it's cool. We tried a white one too, and that was good. That one had kind of a white flavor to it. So pumpkins are super easy. They're super storable, unlike melons. You've got this amazing set of artwork that you can decorate your house with. So far, we're over 280 pounds. I weighed 266 the other day, and I know that there was about 4 or 5 more that we gave away. And my daughter cut some up to save seeds for her Etsy store. I'll put a link to the seeds she has for the mixed up Seminole pumpkin variety. You might get small ones, you might get necky ones, you might get great big fat ones. It's just a whole bunch of different Seminole types running together, but they're all Seminole pumpkins. But anyhow, I think that if you're going to grow something in a big area, like the first time you break ground and you don't have time to fix all that soil up and make it perfect, it's so easy to just dig some melon pits and do it like we did in that video. Put in some ashes, put in some random compost, put in your enemies, and then plant on top of it and just let the vines run. They'll cover the entire area. You don't worry about it. You let it turn into a big weedy mess over the course of the season, and then one day you go out there and you're like, hey, there's my first pumpkin. Hey, that one's ready. Hey, there's another one. Hey, there's another one. Next thing you know, you've got so many pumpkins. You're like, what am I supposed to do with all these pumpkins? Check out the melon pit idea and a bunch of other composting ideas in my book, Compost Everything, which is now back in print. I will put a link to the paperback below this video. And that's just one of the many methods of working with what you have and gaining soil fertility and making gardening easy that I discuss in that book. And thank you to all of you who have bought the new edition. It needs some more reviews on Amazon because the old edition had all the reviews and the new one doesn't yet. It had a ton of reviews when it went down, and so there you go. We need new ones. So if you've read it and you have it and you want to put a review on the new edition, please do so. And if you don't have it, I think you'll enjoy the book. Thanks for watching. Catch you all next time. And until then, may your thumbs always be green.
I went to see David the Good. We listened to Portishead and drank spiced rum.
$18. $14. $13. $14. $10. So what do we got?
69 pounds.
69 pounds. So my previous self wanted to tell my future self that. So as the future self, I'm sending this message back. We have almost 350 pounds of pumpkins.